Hey everybody, Brian from Strong Tower Training back with you again, and we have for April Healthy Shoulder Month. So we're going to bring you a series of videos, things that you can do to work on to keep your shoulders healthy, happy, moving and grooving. So we're going to start with a couple nerve glides. I want you, before we do that, to also test your range of motion. So we're going to bring the arm up to the side, make sure the elbow stays locked, and then bring the arm up in front, elbow stays locked. So just get an idea, is one side stickier than the other? Do they feel about the same? And if one isn't quite as good as the other, then we'll work on that stickier side and come back and reassess in a second. So we're going to do a sensory and then a motor activity first. So I want you to just start with some rubbing around the shoulder joint. We're going to wake up the nerve endings in the skin, increase blood flow a little bit. You can get up and over onto the upper back, upper trap, upper trapezius area here. And then same thing on the other side. You can work through pec, shoulder, upper trapezius. And again, just getting those nerve endings a little bit more awake and alert, increasing some blood flow too. From there, I'm going to go back to the left one more time, because that's the side that I want to highlight, work on a little bit more today. So from there, we're going to go into nerve glides. So I want you to bring your elbow up with the elbow bent. And we're going to swivel the elbow out to the side. I also have fingers open and wrist fingers extended. I'm going to push the shoulder blade down. We want to go maximally to a 3 out of 10 intensity on this. And then from here, if you're at a 3 out of 10 already, we might just lift and press that shoulder blade down a little bit. If you're not at a 3 out of 10 yet, we can add in some lateral flexion or head bend away from the shoulder we're working, and then do some lift and press down through the shoulder. So you should feel maybe a little bit of a nervy sensation, again, keeping it light, 3 out of 10, out to these last two fingers, maybe through the elbow, depending on where that nerve is tight. So then same thing on the other side, elbow comes up, elbow's flexed, fingers are open, extended, and wrist is extended. Shoulder blade goes down, and if we're at a 3 out of 10, you can do your shrugs here. If we're not, you can go head away and then add in the shrugging motion. So this is the ulnar nerve glide, and it's very helpful for grip. So something that we're going to do today, just hanging for healthy shoulders, involves grip. So we want to warm up those nerves that are going to help you have a stronger grip. From there, we're going to go into our axillary nerve glide, and this one is innervates the deltoid musculature, so kind of the main shoulder muscles, the bigger ones that people think about as being really the meat and potatoes of the shoulder itself, the tissue that surrounds that joint. So we're going to go ahead, fingers open, bend the elbow to 30 degrees, press the shoulder down. I'm trying to push my elbow forward and my hand back. So my hand's going back to my back pocket, my elbow I'm trying to push forward towards the camera. If we're at a 3 out of 10, you might just be here, and then maybe adding in some circling or some shrugging. If you're not at a 3 out of 10 yet, add head away and circle or shrug. Same thing on the other side. So about a 30 degree, just a slight elbow bend, elbow comes forward, hand goes back, elbow forward, hand back. We can circle there, head can go away if you weren't at a 3 out of 10 yet, and shrug and press down through the shoulder. Excellent. So shoulder should be a little bit more warmed up. Let's go ahead and retest. So range of motion wise, just going to look at where I'm at. The left one actually is going a little bit farther and doesn't feel quite as sticky at the top. From there, we're going to go into hanging progression. So this is beneficial in that it brings the shoulder blade up away from the spine. If people have history of shoulder impingement, this can be great to prevent that from happening in the future, because what happens in shoulder impingement is that shoulder blade doesn't really have room to move up, and it jams the shoulder blade itself into the actual joint and then prevents additional movement. So to prevent that from happening or getting too tight, hanging can be a really good option just from a preventative standpoint. Obviously, if it's an acute issue and you're seeing a healthcare provider, listen to their advice first. Make sure that you take this easy and gradually progress into it once you have their clearance or blessing on it. So from there, with hanging, we're going to reach up to a bar. If If you don't have a bar available, I'll show you another option you can use with a band today. So I'm going to be initially feet on the floor and just allowing myself to drop into as much body weight as I'm comfortable with the range of motion also being in that pain-free, comfortable range. So you might be here, and that's fine. You might be here, and that's great too. The progression from feet on the floor would then be to go to a bar, and this is a relaxed hang. So I'm just relaxing into this, allowing things to lengthen out. There's benefits for the spine itself as well here as we relax in and let everything lengthen out. So great for the shoulders, great for the spine. And what you'll find is if you practice this, shooting for whatever your grip really can handle initially, you'll build up a good amount of grip strength over a month, 2 months of practicing this consistently. So recommendation, if you've had shoulder issues and you're cleared by a medical professional to do some of this exercise movement-based work, which we think is critical really in preventing future issues, you could spend 2 to 5 minutes a day working on that. If you go to the gym a lot, if you work your shoulders, you're doing a lot of push-ups, cranking out a lot of reps, or you do some sort of sport where you're working your shoulders a lot too, then you could go probably 2 minutes a day as sort of a minimum starting point, working on that relaxed hang. So again, you can be here, feet on the floor. That's going to make it easier on your grip. If you want to challenge the grip more and you're ready for this, you can hang here. And accumulating time as you're able. So if you're doing sets of 10 seconds, sets of 30 seconds, a minute, whatever it is, work within your capability, obviously. The second option, if you're at home and you don't have a bar, you can use a band. So in this variation, I have the band attached overhead over the bar. And again, if you don't have a bar, a good option is to take the band, knot it. So you're actually tying just a light knot in the end of the band there. You would throw it over a doorway and make sure that you safely pull the door shut so that it anchors the band in. You want to be pulling, obviously, the direction that shuts the door, not opens the door. So again, be safe with this one. If you're setting up, knot it, toss it over a doorway, and then you can pull the door shut, and you'd be on that side of the door after you pull the door shut. So the kneeling variation, imagining that you're using that doorway setup, we can go to hands on the band. Hold on with both hands. Then you could use a couch cushion or a pillow, a knee pad, something like that at home. And same thing, if your range of motion is here, that's where you start, and you work on relaxing into it, breathing, and then gradually we can work up into more range of motion. The idea here, again, is to let the shoulders relax and let that band decompress you a little bit and pull into a fully flexed shoulder position. So hope that helps, and you can look for a few more videos coming out this month in our Healthy Shoulder series, and happy Healthy Shoulder Month.